Hi, everybody. Queen Crystal King in the building. Yes, I realized that I was supposed to do this much, much earlier in the evening. But when I got back from getting my scan, I went to a few chats and showed some love. And I was just basically trying to get myself together. I wasn't feeling too tough today. And one of those reasons was when I went to get my MRI, they were able to take pictures without the contact. What do you call it? Contrast. But when they went to put the contrast in, they had to do it through IV, and that wasn't working so well. You know how it is when they say you have tiny veins and they can barely find them, and they can only stick you so many times before it's just a no. So that's where I was, feeling like a pincushion. And by the time they got finished trying to find a vein, they had to give up because normally they go through my port, which is I showed you guys in my chest. But there wasn't a person there qualified enough to give it to me through my port. So that was the end. They only could use the pictures that they had from the contrast. That's one thing I hate about the tests and the doctors and all that kind of stuff when they go to sick me. And they'll often ask you, which arm is the best? Well, I'm not allowed to get my blood pressure or anything else on the left side because that's where I had my surgery. So it can only be done on the right side. And one time they just left a hole in my arm trying to find a vein. And I'm telling you, it was very painful. By the time I got home, I just made the cable guy. To the point where he was about to pull off and I knocked on his window. So I did get my cable done today, but I was not feeling good at all. So I had tried a couple times to start the live. Then I just said, I'm tired. When I get some relief, then I will do my dear Chrystal. So I don't know whether this is way, way, way too late or not, but I just couldn't. I really couldn't do it. But I can always find gratitude in any day that I have because I thank God for my life and my health and my strength. But I do love my subscribers, the ones that I have that come and support me and participate in little things I see that I'd like to do new for my channel. And I've been trying to keep myself more visible. So you may see me a few more times on camera. It's uncomfortable, but it also helps to match the face with the voice. And although I have a picture up here, I want you guys to know that this is me. Now, the one thing that's perplexing me is they're talking about surgery now, which is good. That means that it has gotten small enough to consider surgery, which would be a complete hysterectomy. Now, that doesn't bother me. I'm 57 years old and I'm not having any more children. What bothers me is I asked her, how was she going to cut me? And I assumed that she was going to do the laparoscopic, where they make certain little holes, incisions in, and then they go in and they remove it that way. But she said, no, we're going to cut you straight down the middle of your stomach. I'm like, wow, I'm not looking forward to that. But when God brings me through it, hi love, when God brings me through it, you know, it'll only mean that just what the other scar means, you know, that was a scar to save my life. Hey boss lady, um, I was supposed to come on at 8 o'clock, but I had a heck of a day, girl, with the darn MRI. They took a couple pictures, but the pictures that they're supposed to take with the contrast, they couldn't find my vein. So, you know, they only get so many sticks and it's a wrap. So we weren't able to put the contrast in. So they have to use what they have. And my arm was very sore. They were talking about give us your best arm. This is the arm I have to use because I had surgery on the other side. And they told me not to use that for blood pressure, blood, or anything. Sorry about that. So I was just sore when I got home, and I just caught the cable guy to the point where I actually knocked on his window before he pulled off. So I did get my cable installed today, but it was just very exhausting. It's that machine where you have to go in and it looks like a tube, and it looks like a tube that you're going in, and they put earplugs in your ears. You hear all this popping and popping and crackling and buzzing, and I had to hold my head a certain way because this MRI was this MRI was for I've been having headaches, and when I walk, you ever see that thing on television where they draw a straight line where you have to walk heel toe, to see if you were drunk? Well, they would swear I was drunk because I could not walk a straight line. So then they said to me, I don't believe that it's this, but we're just gonna rule it out that you don't have cancer. It has spread to your brain. So that's what this MRI was for. I did. I truly did. And I tell you, I thought the last thing I said I want to do over. I would love to do this over. So I don't believe that there's cancer in the brain. They just want to rule it out. But it's like my equilibrium is off. And I went to lean over to press a button in the elevator, and I almost fell on this lady. And it wasn't intentional. It's just that my body wouldn't allow me to go straight. You're listening to music. That sounds good. Well, I'm up because it's time to take some more medicine. So I'm about to do surgery really soon. Thank you. I am too, and I know that lady is too. I just want to get better, girl. I mean, some days I feel like I'm brave and I can take it and I can handle it. And there are just some days where it's like I can't do it today. I don't know how I'm gonna get it done, but I know I have to get it done, but I just can't do it today. I just want to get some stuff off my chest. I didn't want to go in anybody's live or platform or nothing like that. And, you know, feeling the way I feel. It gave you Okay. Well, I have a CAT scan due on Monday about 6 o'clock in the evening. And this MRI, they wanted to know something because I've been telling them about my headaches. And when I walk straight, I can't walk straight. I'm leaning to the side. I feel like I'm going to fall or like I'm walking on real high heels or something. And it was just a little scary. So that's why they squeezed that MRI in. The one time that I was trying to get my ride and stuff before, ugh, I kept missing them, but this one was here on time. And one thing I can say about them is if I'm having a problem, they like to troubleshoot it right away. So that was something I couldn't avoid. I just feel like I'm in a funk and I'm trying to come out of it. I really am. So you playing music in the VIP area? Yeah, girl. This ride was much better. But when I went to get my return ride, which they were supposed to have paid for a round trip, I don't know what happened with that. So I had to end up calling my own Lyft and pay $20. $20 just to get home. You know, I felt like a slapped ass. I'm like, $20? Are you serious? Then they got the nerve to say, give them a tip. I got a tip for your ass. Don't go outside in the rain without an umbrella. Oh, you uploading? Yeah, 20 freaking dollars. So I'm gonna talk to my caseworker, see if they can reimburse me that money. Ain't nobody got no money like that. No, he didn't ask for a tip. Lyft will call you back and they want to know how the ride was and if you want to leave a tip for them. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But tonight I didn't feel like leaving no damn tip. I wasn't supposed to pay nothing. I didn't feel like it. Let's go home and soak my hand, soak my body, because my hand was killing me. I just was just one of them days. One of them days, girl. So I feel like I want to go live and talk, but I'm getting this part off over here. So if you want to do something, we can. 20 bucks for my trouble. Thank God I had it on me. But you don't pay the Lyft drivers money. But for me, drive that city traffic driving, that city traffic driving is a pain. Hey Munchie, how you doing? I'm on several hours late, but all I can say is I had a heck of a day. So, hi, baby daddy in my head. How you doing? How you doing? Oh, you laying down? I hear you, baby. Ugh, Jaded, I tell you, I went from going inside a tube with them securing my head because I was talking about my headaches. I was starting to get headaches and my equilibrium is off, almost like vertigo. And when they went to give me the rest of the tests with the contrast with the dye for the MRI, they couldn't find a vein. So now my hand is all crazy. My arm is all crazy because they couldn't find a vein, and you only get to so many sticks. So my insurance paid for a round trip, but when I went to get the round trip, I couldn't. So I had to end up paying $20. I love it when a plan comes together, but when it doesn't, you just have to do the best you can with it. Oh, you good people, Munchie. You good people. All right. Now I'm about to go into a question. You guys ready? I was asked, would I date a bilingual, not bilingual. See, I can't get my thoughts out. A bisexual male. And I took a little break from you too. You have to. Okay. Okay. I was asked, would I date a bisexual male? I say to each his own. I would respect a biracial male, but in my mind, I will be thinking that eventually he's going to leave me for a man, or the relationship will become an open relationship, and I really don't do open relationships. Yes, that was my question. Would I date a bisexual male? I would be great friends with a bisexual male. I would. I'd be great friends with them. Um, we can always kick it. Not biracial, bisexual. We could always kick it. But in my mind, I'm thinking somewhere that he's going to want to be with a male, but at least he was honest about it. And it wasn't something I found out years later. But there are so many sexy bisexual males. Oh my God. They are beautiful. And I wouldn't want to lose a bond with a bisexual male. And I would respect him for his honesty. Thank you, Jaded. I would respect him for his honesty. But could I commit to a bisexual male? In my mind, by him telling me that he was bisexual, he was letting me know that should he find a male that's attractive, he's going to be with that male. And I'm just not the type of person that I'm just not that type of person that can share who I'm with. You know, I'm not obsessive. When it comes to my body, you know, that's just something that I take very seriously. But I believe that a great friendship I could have with a bisexual male. I believe I could do that. Like Jaded, he's a cutie pie. That's my baby daddy in my head. But could we seriously date? No, I don't think so. But I wouldn't want to lose him as a special person in my life by being closed minded. Now, like I said, it comes back to me as you're my for the time being. eventually I'm going to go and be with a male because I was upfront with you about it and I told you about it. But I'd be on pins and needles, you know? I would. I'd be on pins and needles. But if there are people who can date bisexual males and they're okay with that, I think that's beautiful. One thing about love, it's where you find it. And those that became first in this world will become last. And those that became last will become first. So, how I answered the question, how I answered the question was my opinion. And this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a therapist or a psychiatrist. This is something new that I'm doing on my channel. And I'm just working with questions that were given to me. And it really caught me off guard because I do know a lot of bisexual males and they are attracted to me. And that's great. I'm attracted to them as well. But to have a relationship, I don't think I would cross that boundary. I think I would like to leave it the way it is. I know that the bisexual males I know are very in tune with themselves. They're very in tune with themselves. They know what they want, they know what they don't want. But see, as a woman, I don't really know what you want until you tell me. So I cherish that question. I really took it to heart. I would rather it be a situation where you just put it on Front Street than me having to find out. I think that will hurt me more. And another thing about that is you take away my choices when you don't ask me. If you ask me, one or two things can happen. Either I will decline or I will accept. But if I'm thinking I'm in an exclusive relationship with someone and then I find out they're with a man, that would make me think that they were trying to get over on me. And I don't believe that that's the case. Uh, my other question was, how do I feel about people sharing their living space and they crossed the boundary? They had sex. So now the man or the woman feel like they don't have to pull their weight because they're having sex with you. My thing is, sex does not pay the bills unless you're a sex worker. Um, when you have situations like that and it didn't start off that way, always get a contract. Get a contract, have it in writing, so there is a meeting of the minds, so that should it become a thing where you guys start going together or sleeping with each other and you feel like things are kind of lax on the money part, abort. Simply abort. I think if he or she is honest up front, it gives you the chance to choose. Yes, Jaded. Yes, that's exactly what I was trying to say. I don't like it when people take my choices from me. And by being upfront about that, because there are bisexual women as well. There are bisexual women as well. And It's not always that mentality of, oh, okay, she's bisexual. Oh, she can be with two women. She could be with a woman. That's sexy. Oh, let me watch. What if she chooses that woman over you? You can't say you didn't know. Hey, Kool-Aid. Yes. Yes, actually, to each his own. That's why I said love is where you find it. And if you find love with that individual or a tremendous degree of like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And what I like about you, Jaded, is that you're very humble. And humble to me is sexy. When you're speaking with someone that's so arrogant and they're so busy trying to tell you who they are, what they got, and that turns me off. That's a turn off for me. I like the fact that when you speak with wisdom, but you speak to the point where you're approachable. Some people have a lot of wisdom, but they're not approachable. And you may want to ask them a question, but because they tend to be an arrogant ass at times, you don't know. So you just simply shake your head. Yeah, okay. And I don't get that from you. And the other bisexual men that I know, I don't get that from them. And even if I'm not understanding certain aspects of being bisexual, I can respect the fact that you are and you stand in your stuff. You don't allow my opinion or anyone else's opinion to change who you are. Because when you stifle or when you compress who you are, you become a chameleon. It's like, okay, you're standing with a bunch of orange people today, you orange. All right, later on that night, it's a bunch of green people. Now you green. Later on that night or sometime in the morning, it's a bunch of blue people. Now you're blue. That's what a chameleon does. It adapts to the situation, but it's not a chameleon if you respect the situation and decline with a rapport that I can respect. Check your cash app. Oh, thank you, love. You're more than welcome, Jaded. You're more than welcome. Yeah. So the next question was, if you're sharing a living space, if you're sharing a living space with someone and you cross that boundary and you guys end up having sex and one or the other starts to slip on the money situation because we're now sleeping together. For example, the female was playing her part. You are so right, Chrystal, about stifling yourself. Yes, no need. No need for that. This is 2021. No need. You can be who you are and be proud of who you are, and you go where you're respected and not tolerated. So, yeah. So, if you cross that boundary and you guys end up having sex, the female sees it as, well, you're the man. You should take care of the household. Well, when we got together, you was paying this and I was paying this and it was cool. No, I don't think that's good because me myself, I would want a contract. I would want it in writing of who's supposed to pay what, how they're supposed to pay. And if we end up, you know, being together intimately, then that's okay. If that's the boundary that you would like to explore or cross, But for real, there has to be a meeting of the minds. It has to be. And say you guys are together and then you decide you don't want to be together. This one gets upset. That one gets upset. And next thing you know, the bills are not being paid right, because how you say it? You're harboring bad feelings towards each other. And things start to become vindictive when one of the people in the relationship don't get what they feel they deserve. It becomes a tit for tat. And sex doesn't pay the bills unless you're a sex worker. So just because we're having sex, that means you're not going to pay half of the light bill. Well, you was paying half of the light bill. Now why you don't want to pay half the light bill now? Or as for her, well, we going together now, so I'm the female in the relationship. You should be paying all these bills. You know why? Because she feels like, because she's having sex with him, and she doesn't feel like she should have to pay someone that she's having sex with. Untrue, untrue, untrue. Once that contract is established and notarized, should a situation like that happen, you're both covered. So what if she decides that she don't want to be with you no more? Y'all still sharing your living space, and she wants to bring another person up there in her bed. Now you done slept with her. Now you in your fifis. Now it's a problem. Or the same for her. He decides he wants to bring somebody up there with him. He's paying for his space. Why can't he bring somebody up there? That's why there are certain boundaries you should not cross, because the outcome, I hate to say it, can be very predictable. Very predictable. Yes, Jaded, I watched someone stifle who they actually were, and it was painful. It was really painful to watch. I enjoy being a woman, a black woman. I'm proud of being a black woman, and I want my granddaughters to know that being a black woman, being a black queen, that's the most powerful piece in the game. The black queen is the powerful, most powerful piece in the game. That's nothing to shake your head at. That's nothing to shake a stick at. But there are black kings walking around here. Beautiful, beautiful black kings. And if they get with the wrong person, it's a wrap. You know, I don't want to do anything that takes away from my growth. And if we started off as roommates and now we're not roommates anymore, now it's girlfriend, boyfriend type of stuff, and say it don't work out, now your living situation is in a crunch, you got to deal with that on a business level. The other part is emotions. And for God's sake, please, please don't handle these things on emotion. Good night, everybody. I'm getting down for church in the morning. Okay. Thank you so much, Tropical Punch. Have a beautiful day at church tomorrow. So, how do you guys feel about that? That was my other question. I always feel like money and sex should not mix. Feelings aren't fact. It's a fact that you have feelings, but they aren't always facts. A contract is a fact. A notary is a fact. We got these bills to pay and we done worked it out where you pay this, I pay this. That's a fact. Feelings are not fact. Just the way you feel. I believe it happens more frequently now because everything costs so much more now. True. That is true. That is true. People can't afford single living. That's true. That's a fact. But like I said, with that boundary being crossed like that, you change the game. The contract don't change, but you change the game when you start mixing money with sex. And like you said, people move past the lust and are stuck with each other. Exactly. Exactly. That's true. Yeah. Boundaries are very important. You have to make sure that those boundaries are not crossed. But yeah, that was a crazy situation. Once she started sleeping with him, she figured that as long as she give him some, he should pay her part. And that's not what the contract said. That's not. And again, if it don't work out, can he bring somebody else to his space? Can she bring somebody else to her space? I mean, I saw I saw it as an opportunity. I didn't see it as, oh, now we done fell madly in love with each other. That was a form of lust. And being in the same house and chilling and all this and that, you have your space, I have mine. I think that opportunity was executed because they were trying to test where the boundaries were. And I hate to say this, I really do, but it's the truth. You have some females that figure just because I'm giving you my body, I'm entitled to what you have. No, that is not true. You have males who say, as long as I'm sleeping with her and giving her some vitamin D, then when I come off work, some food should be cooked or my clothes should be washed or all these things that they didn't walk into this agreement with is going to start being expected. So my opinion on that is don't mix the two. Don't mix sex with money and bills. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Okay. Now, the last question was, how do you feel about knowing that a person is lying about who they are and what they have, and it's your friend that's dating them? You know who they are and what they have because you know them. But they were only introduced as, this is my friend so and so, so and so, this is so and so. It wasn't a love connection. I'm just introducing you to someone that's standing beside me. And in order to get my friend, this person is lying about where they work, how much money they make, all this and that. And She bought it. Now, am I responsible? This is my question. Am I responsible if they don't make it and she finds out that he's fronting just to get a hit? Am I wrong for that? I don't think so. But I would speak to him about telling her the truth. I would speak to him about telling her the truth. As a matter of fact, I don't know what's going to come out of another person's mouth from 1 minute to the next. I don't know. I had no idea you were going to lie like that to her. It was no need to. Where you work was fine. A job is a job. There's respect and dignity in all work. You didn't have to do that. I mean, should I say to her, he lying. He don't work such and such and such. He works down to the so and so. Maybe I I can't be responsible for that. Those are two adults. All I did was introduce who was standing beside me. Now, mind you, when I'm asking these questions, I will tell you if it's a true story and it happened to me. This is not a true story that happened to me. It was someone giving me a question to ask on my channel. Exactly, boss lady. Like, why did you tell her that? You need to tell her the truth. She didn't even ask you where you work, how much money you make, what you drive. She didn't even ask you any. You volunteer. When people volunteer lies, that just throws me. I am totally shook. You lied for no reason. Why would you volunteer to lie? She kept it a buck. She was riding the bus. He's walking down the street, but you telling her that you drive this and you make this and all that. I said to the person that asked me the question, I think you should speak to your friend, not the female. I think you should speak to the male. As a matter of fact, as soon as he started saying that stuff, I would have gave him the side eye. Like, really, I've known you for like 3 years, and I've never known you to work at this place you just said, drive this car you claim you drive, and live where you claim you live. And actually, I would have been upset with my friend for doing that. And to me, you're singling out my girl as a gold digger. You couldn't come as yourself, even if y'all never got into a relationship or never were intimate or whatever. If she see you somewhere, she could say, "Hey, how you doing?" And it'd be no thing. Oh well, let's have some lunch, or let's see what so and so is doing. We can get together, and play some cards or do something. You did not have to say that. Now I'm going to need you to straighten that out, or I'm going to tell her myself. Knowing me, I probably wouldn't hook up. Yeah, but she was saying it wasn't a hookup. That's just like me and you standing next to each other, boss lady. And I say, "This is boss lady. Boss lady is so and so." Just an introduction, not like this is a love connection. So, I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to move around a little bit. So yeah, I said my opinion was you need to tell her the truth, or I will. You're a grown ass man and you know you lied, so you need to just stop. You just need to handle that. And she's still telling me you saying you work here, drive this, and do, then I'm gonna have to tell her. And we would still be cool, but I would have to give you the side eye. What sounds suspect, Jaded? What sounds suspect? Okay, boss lady. I mean, the way she was telling me, he just started blurting out stuff that nobody asked him for. All she said was, "Hey, how you doing?" And he just started lying. And I'm looking at him like, "Who are you?" That's what she was saying. So it's like, that's what I would do. I would be like, "Who are you? And why do you feel like you needed to lie? You could have just said, 'Hey, how you doing?' You ain't have to say nothing else." "All right, Chrystal, I'll talk to you a little later." "Okay, boo." That's that. Now, my girlfriend says, "Who is that?" "Oh, that was so and so. I met him, this, that, and the other thing. We've been friends for a while." I say, "He good people." Yeah, he good people. What you were saying about the last question, the guy in the story. My bad. Oh, that's okay, love. Yeah, it was unnecessary for him to lie. Nobody even asked you. Who walks up to a person and says, "Hey, how you doing? Where you work at? What you driving? How much money you make a year? How many baby mamas you got?" How- It wasn't an interrogation, which leads me to believe that their friend had done this before. It was no need. It was no need to lie. And like I said, I would have told him he was wrong for doing that, and he needs to tell her the truth, or I'm going to tell her. I'll give him time to clean up his own mess. I didn't make that mess. And again, it also makes her friend, and if I'm putting myself in her position, I'll say my friend, look like, well, I better tell her I got some money and I drive a decent car and I live in a good neighborhood, or else I ain't got no shot. You sold yourself short. Now you're just a liar. Now you're just a liar. Now it's going to be up to her to forgive you if she chooses to, if she even wants to be bothered. But she probably won't trust you. So that was a deep question as well. But it was an easy fix for me. Pull old boy to the side and tell him there was no need for you to do that. No need at all. It was ridiculous. She didn't ask you any of that. All she said was hi. And if that's your way of making moves on a female, I don't see you having much luck with it, boo. I don't have 100% trust in anyone, but there has to be a degree of trust where I can take you at your word. And if the first words you utter are lies, that's exactly what the last words are going to be, lies. Why sell yourself short? And I told you it was one of my friends, which means I am close with her. And I would not put her in a position where I would introduce her to anybody who just blatantly lies like that. You never came, you, there's no evidence that the person who knew the guy for a couple of years, there's no evidence that proves to he was lying to her at any time. But now she's gonna side eye him like, how much of the truth have you told me? You walked dead up to a person, to a total stranger, and I introduced you because we were standing beside each other, and you turned it into a whole goulash. Like there was no need for it. Is that what you meant, Jaded, when you said that? I think honesty is sexy as well. You know, it's a daring move, and it builds your muscle and it exercises your character. And who wouldn't want to build muscle and exercise their character? But when you start off as a liar, that leads me to believe that that's who you are. First impressions mean a lot. Hey, girl. Yeah, first impressions mean a lot. And if the first impression that you're giving me is liar, I'm going to side eye you. I'm not going to trust you. Even if we all get together, I don't play cards, but just for example, we got together and played cards or something, you know, and I see you again. I might have wanted to rap to you. I might have wanted to get to know a little bit more about you. But you lied for no reason. If you're standing up straight, putting your pants on one leg at a time, being a functional member of society, where you work is where you work, not where you steal, where you work. And there is a difference between having a job and having a career. But like I said, it was no reason for him to lie. And I would pull him to the side and I would have said, you know, you did wrong for that. You better tell her the truth before I will. And that also, what it also does is it puts the person who introduced them, it puts them in a bad light. It may not be intentional, but it does. Like, who did you introduce me to? What's his deal? What's that all about? Girl, I've known him for years. I don't know why he said all that stuff. Maybe he was trying to impress you, but it wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary at all. And that's only if you don't clean your own act up. Most likely you'll have a conversation later because a lot of females do. And it'll come out because I would make it come out. Especially if he continues to act like that. You start lying about small things, it will eventually turn into bigger things. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So why would you want your first impression of someone, even if you liked her and you started talking stupid or goofy? Why would she want to attach herself to a liar? I wouldn't want to attach myself to a liar. But like I said, it wasn't a love connection. It was just as if you were standing beside me and I said, this is boss lady. Boss lady, this is so and so. Just and kept on talking like it wasn't that deep because it really wasn't. It really wasn't. So, Jada, this is your first time in one of my lives. Are you good? Were you comfortable? I truly enjoyed your input. You as well, boss lady, tropical punch and munch bar. I enjoy this because it's a very intimate type of vibe over here. And I feel like you should be able to express yourself without having to worry about screenshots and recordings and all that kind of stuff. It's just not for me. I'm not saying that somebody who does that it's not for them. I'm just saying that it's just not for me. It's always good to have a place that you could call home where good, bad, or indifferent, you can express yourself. We don't drag over here. We don't make fun of anybody over here. And just know the stupidest question is the one you don't ask. And another one is be smart enough to know what you're dumb at. You tell one lie, you forget what lie you told. Now you have to tell two lies because you couldn't remember the first lie. And it's just like a domino effect. So I will take one question from either one of you guys, or I'll just give you a question that I have. But I'm glad you guys came over. I know I was kind of rambling in the beginning, but my day was just not a great day. It was a good day, you know. I didn't have to breathe breath, but it was painful. It's painful trying to find a vein. I have suffered with that for years of my veins being too tiny. But I'm glad that, you know, I went on and took a shot and came on over and see who would drop by. And I thank you all. I truly do. But there's no other way to do it, honey. Just be yourself, period. Just be yourself. I would be attracted to an honest working man, regardless of what his job is. And we just kick it. But I'm not attracted to a liar. Not at all. I myself could not be in a relationship where I think the other person is with someone else and come to find out that they are with someone else, but they want you to forgive them because it was only one time and they're sorry. So you forgive them and you stay together and you work it out, and he does it again. So now what do? You claim that was one time also. I'm not sharing my body with nobody. So I'm one of those type of people that the relationship that I'm in after my husband passed, we got clean bills of health before we became intimate. And that was fine with me. As a matter of fact, I insist because I have nothing to hide. I had told Boss Lady about this true story where it was a female and she had never been with a man before, and she was in college and she was intimate with him one time and she walked away with HIV. Now, I would rather you be upfront with me and just tell me that and then give me a choice in the matter than taking away my choices and just, you know, being with me knowing that there's an issue. Male or female, I don't respect that. I don't respect that. And That's not what I want to do. There's always safe sex that you can have. Right. There's always safe sex that you can have with a person that has HIV. You can. And not a lot of people talk about that. But I'm telling you, it's something about being honest and humble and approachable that is so sexy to me. All this none of your business and who I've been with ain't none of your business. It's not. But I would like to know what I'm getting myself into because I have a way of expressing myself where if I didn't know that was the case, I would be very insulted, very angry, very mad. But if you tell me what's up and I make an informed decision, and that means that I've looked it up, I understand it, and I know how to approach you, and you know how to approach me, and we're both protected. Give me that. Just give me that. Don't take my choices from me. Yeah, I know what you were saying. So I've reached my hour mark. I thank you guys for allowing me to talk to you for a few. Hopefully, it was informative. Hopefully, I've sparked a conversation that may needed to be had. Did I say that correctly? Hopefully, I sparked a conversation that needed to be had. I like that better. So we're not walking around blindly because just because a person has HIV doesn't mean that they don't need love, that they don't need a tender touch, a kiss or a hug, or that you can't Netflix and chill. Just make informed decisions. Make sure that you know enough to where you can both be comfortable. Okay, guys, I'm about to end this video. And again, I thank you so much for coming. Boss Lady, Jaded Nerd, Tropical Punch, Munch Bar. You guys have a great morning. Love, peace, and chicken grease.